Okay, ladies and gentlemen, one last story. One last story on my final stretch home on this walk. Wow, walk and talk, wondrous stories. This goes all the way back to high school graduation. Oh my heavens. And this is, I guess you call it one of my greatest hits slash wondrous stories of my lifetime. Oh, another brush with death. I hate to think about it, but I feel like I need to preserve this story for try to get some lessons out of it. But anyways, so we had a group in our senior year in high school. We had a group of boys and girls that were all friends, and we called ourselves the family. And in the family, there was a couple of girlfriend-boyfriend pairs, and I was one of those. Not to say that that was a very frequent thing in my life. It was, first and only time in my high school to have that kind of a relationship. But anyways, on graduation night, now this is right, I'm a little foggy because I remember sleeping through my high school graduation. People were at the high school for the graduation. I was at home in bed. I was, for lack of a better word, I was probably depressed. And so I have a hard time believing we left that night. Maybe the next night. We all packed up in a big van and one kind of four-wheel drive that pulled a ski boat. But anyways, very quickly about my high school graduation. I think it was indicative of my mental state at that time, but for lack of a better word, I think I was depressed. I think I was thinking, why am I going to graduation? I didn't do anything special. I just showed up. I didn't really achieve anything grand in my mind, and I didn't deserve praise from anyone. I was the youngest child of my parents, and they didn't seem to be that sad that I didn't go. And I got them out of having to go. But I think I just slept the night through in my bedroom in the basement. And anyways, I kind of regret it, but I mean, oh, you did this great thing. In my mind, no, I showed up. I attended school, that was about it. I don't think I ever took a book home. I got pretty good grades, except for my junior year. I had a snafu in my math class in junior year where I got like, I think 2/4 of D's, and then I snapped out of it, this kind of depression, and I think I did some pretty good stuff. But anyways, in my mind, there was nothing to be praised about my performance in high school. There's nothing to be proud of. And so I didn't go. So I think it was the next night, probably, I don't know what day of the week it was, but for the weekend, the family decided that we would go down to Lake Powell, take this ski boat. Whose ski boat? I can't remember whose ski boat it was. I think it was my quote-unquote girlfriend's family's. I'm not sure. And her dad was going to pull it down there for us. It was in the front car with his children. And we were following behind in the family van, a big old, I think it was probably a lime green Dodge or Plymouth, big old 15-passenger van or something like that. And anyways, we were going down to Lake Powell. And so my girlfriend's family, and all my friends, everybody was crazy about water skiing. Personally, I don't think I've ever had a positive experience water skiing. I never enjoyed it that much, and I could never do it very good. And being pulled around like that, and then trying to get up on one ski one time in uh, Willard Bay next to the Great Salt Lake, a freshwater portion of that. We went out there with some friends in high school, and they were all excited to get me up on one ski. I spent the whole day trying to get up on one ski, and I was unsuccessful. I may have had brief, split second moments where I stood up. I can't remember. But by the time we packed up and went home that night, I had no grip in my hands. My forearms muscles were so abused and stretched out, I could hardly hold a pencil. And they were trying to convince me that we were having fun. This is fun. Yeah. Not my kind of fun. Anyway, so we're going to go to Lake Powell. Yeah, big skiers. I could care less, really, but I'm not a skier. And there have been times where I kind of enjoyed the boat ride, going around a lake or a pretty lake, or up at Echo, up above Salt Lake City. There were some times where I maybe enjoyed being on the boat, but I can't say I enjoyed the skiing. But anyway, so we're going to go down water skiing to Lake Powell. We love Lake Powell. So it's about 5 or 6 hours from here. So we all packed up. It was probably dark when we left in the evening. I can't remember what time, but it's a 5 or 6 hour drive or more. I think we left late at night. And I started driving the van. I was the first shift. I was going to do the first shift on the van, okay, driving it. And then I was here, and then I think in my passenger side was my friend Joey. And then facing the rear, leaning up the console, asleep, was my girlfriend, for lack of a better word. and then we about 3 or 4 hours into it. It was probably, wee hours of the morning. I was starting to get sleepy. I said, "Oh man, we gotta switch drivers. Can somebody drive for me?" And I think it was Joe. He said, I'll drive for you. And this is one of the main reasons I don't think kids should have a driver's license until they're about 26. We sprung this, I can't remember whose idea it was, but okay. Heaven forbid we pulled over to stop and switch drivers. We decided to switch drivers right on the road. So I was driving, steering, and then Joey was going to come up from behind me, grab the wheel, step over in the front, and then I was going to kind of go under his arm, climb over my girlfriend over into the passenger seat, and everything went good for a while. We made the switch. I sat down, and to do so, I had to step over my girlfriend. She was asleep, and then at that moment, she sprung up kind of in a sitting position and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And Joey, "What?" Holding the wheel. "What's going on?" She's all excited. And at that moment, we went shooting off the road. Oh my heavens. And this is where someone had to be watching over us, because where we were all the way before, all the way after, it was, if we would have gone off the road, it would have been devastating, because it was, all this kind of crazy terrain, crazy rough terrain. But exactly at the point where we went off the road, it was flat as a pancake, and it was like driving on the Great Salt Lake Salt Flats, and Joey was, I can't remember if anybody said anything. It was, oh my land, oh, please somebody help us, please bless us, God, please help us. Joey gained his composure and just eased back onto the road. And all the cars behind us saw this crazy van going off the road. They all backed off, said, oh, we don't want any part of that. And my girlfriend's father was pulling the boat in front of us. And then we eventually caught up with them. And I don't think they noticed anything. And I don't remember us telling them anything. I assume at some point in her life, my girlfriend told her dad what happened, but oh, it was the scariest thing. Anyways, we just eased back on the road and we were back in the saddle like nothing happened. This is another brush with death. I've had a couple. And so it's moments like this that you count your blessings and you feel like somebody's watching over you. And I know terrible things happen, and to those that have terrible things happen to them, I'm not going to say that you're not being watched over, but you know why, I don't know. But my friends, life is short, and you need to count our many blessings. Be thankful for all the experiences and friends and neighbors and family and spouses and children, grandchildren, and sons-in-laws, and take inventory of our life and just be thankful. I think that is the key to happiness, a thankful heart. So if you're not thankful, how can you ever be happy? You've got to be thankful. And that is my last story for today. I'm on the final stretch home, and I think that was the stories, all the stories. There may have been another story. Oh, there's my wife. Hey, so thank you for listening. Bye-bye.